I'll just speak louder. How's that? Okay, Nigel, thank you very much for those kind words. Yeah, I knew you'd nailed the speech. You've done a great job. Thank you very much. I'd just like to say it's a privilege to be welcomed into this family. It's been every single member of it has been extremely kind and very accepting and extremely warm. You know, Sean and Jackie, it's always been an absolute pleasure coming to visit you and getting to know you. You're a wonderful couple and, you know, brilliant pair. And also, I'm now completing the sibling department as well. So I've got my little brother Alex. Where is he? Hands up. There he is. I've had older brothers and older sisters and little sisters, but now I've got a little brother. I'm complete. So thank you. And yeah, so Nigel and Charmaine, thank you very much. You've also been extremely warm, and you know, it really is a special privilege being welcomed into by you two, especially considering I know it's particularly hard to make the cut. I've heard about all the infamous stories with the previous nicknames with Chelsea's and Sophie's previous boyfriends, and apparently, to the best of my knowledge anyway, the worst I've got is Derek. And that's only because you couldn't remember my name. And it's a damn sight better than Pizza Face. So, thank you. But also, Nanny Ursula, you've been wonderful as well, and Grandad Charlie, you're so accepting as well. You're both very lovely people, and the entire family. I'm sorry if I've missed anyone, but I know that Chelsea's so close to all of your hearts, and indeed she is mine as well. So this is my pledge to you all, is that I'll live up to your high expectations and take very good care of Chelsea. She means so much to us. Okay, I know Nigel did have a few toasts there. I would like to make a couple of toasts as well. So again, if you'd just like to make sure your drinks are charged for the upcoming toasts, that'd be great. Okay, so I've been looking forward to this day for a while, as obviously Chelsea has as well, nearly a year now, and I can't think of a better way to start married life than surrounded by all you wonderful people. I've got all my family, all my friends, Chelsea's family and Chelsea's friends, and you lot, guys about it. It's terrific to have you all here, so thank you all for coming. I know that you've come from faraway lands, you know, including Hong Kong, Australia, with Gavin and Penny and Chloe, and the North, you know, so you've all travelled to strange foreign lands. So
I've had easier journeys than others.
And the Midlands, sorry. We've even got a house in the Midlands, how could I miss it? It's the North. Midlands. But yeah, as I was saying, it's not. Although there are some luxury trimmings here today, and you know, I'm really impressed with the marquee and Supervent. Thank you very much for the wonderful show you put on. But you know, what really enriches it as well is all you guys here and having you here today. Really warms my heart seeing you all coming up and shaking our hands and congratulating us. So thank you so much. It really does. You know, it's moments like this where you realise how important family and friends are. So thank you. I know Nigel has already mentioned absent friends and family and to be gone and not forgotten. So I'd just like to second that as well, and also myself. I'd just like to raise a toast to the the smaller one. So if you wouldn't mind just joining me again, I do feel sort of obliged to also toast the gone and not forgotten and absent friends.
Absent friends.
Okay, right, so I'll move on to the thank yous then. So yes, thank you to all the parents. I've already mentioned you, but I'd just like to personally thank, on behalf of Chelsea and myself, for all of the help that you have had towards the wedding. Like, it wouldn't be possible without all of your input, and you have all been fantastic. So to everyone on the top table, thank you very much, and a big round of applause. I'd like to thank you for giving Chelsea away. And it is an absolute privilege to receive her as well. I don't know why everyone's laughing, that wasn't even a joke. I meant it. But honestly, the entire experience of watching Chelsea come up the aisle, I've tried to explain it, but I really can't. There's nothing in life that, that can't prepare you for that moment. It is absolutely surreal. It was for me, and I don't know how it was for you. But the whole moment was actually quite precious to me, so thank you so much for giving away Chelsea. Thank you. I'd just like to my appreciation of Chelsea for giving her away. So thank you. Okay, Jackie, a very warm thank you to you. You've been absolutely wonderful, an important part of Chelsea's life and my life as well over the last 3 years. Sam and Alex look wonderful today, so thank you for that as well. You're a great mother. We'd like to also offer a small token of our gratitude as well. It's just please accept a bouquet of that. Okay. Nigel.
Please don't.
I'd like to thank you for the terrific speech. Some great words of wisdom there as well. You have actually helped out a huge amount with the wedding. An enormous amount, not as much as he said, I'd just like to but he certainly has helped out a lot. In fact, we did ask him if he'd create a post box for the evening for cards and whatnot to go into. But he decided that in fitting with the travel theme, what would be more appropriate than a TARDIS, travelling through space and time. So the blue monstrosity over there with the blinking light on, it says, "Look at me, I was created by Nigel." I was created by Nigel. So thank you for that. And also the buses as well, and the orders of service, generally anything involving printing. So thank you, you've been a terrific help, and please accept this gift. Thank you. Okay, all my parents, Dad, Mum, Sharon, Rick, there he is. Thank you all for everything throughout my life, and this really means a lot to me, to every single one of you. You've raised me, you've put up with me, you've supported me, and generally shaped me into the person I am today, and you've done your very best to teach me strong morals, ethics, and integrity. What are the others, lads? Courage, self-respect, discipline, all that good stuff. I'm not sure where you guys went wrong. Or what went wrong indeed, probably my end. But thank you very much for everything that you've done. And you're all such special people to me in my lives, and I'd like to thank you on behalf of myself. And Chelsea, I know, loves you guys as well, because you've all been so welcoming. And it's almost a little bit discouraging for myself that you'll tell me, and frequently tell me, that actually you prefer Chelsea to me sometimes. But thank you all for being so lovely. So Sharon, we'd like to offer you a bouquet of flowers as a small token of our gratitude. You've been wonderful. Thank you for everything. Yep. Can you put down the camcorder for 1 second, please?
Flowers for you too.
We've got
Oh boy.
Come on, Joe.
So I'm all over it.
Joe, are you qualified for that?
Yeah, fucking all over it.
Steady cam. I was there waiting.
Don't flex.
Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful influence in my life, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So thank you very much. And take good care of Mum as well. Ever since I was 10 years old, I think it's like 20 years ago now. It's been a big part of my life. So thank you. I do love you, Dad, and you've been great throughout my life, and you've been huge source of inspiration for me throughout life. You really have. So I'd like to present this gift for you. So thank you very much, Dad, for Mum?
I was thinking.
Mum?
Oh, she's gone already.
You've gone away. Thank you everything for thank you everything. What I said earlier about teaching me strong morals, and being a better person. I feel that a huge amount of that has come from you. So, Mum, thank you for everything throughout my entire life, and please accept a lovely bouquet of flowers from me and Chelsea. Okay, I think that's all the family members, isn't it? No, it's not. Don't worry. Don't worry, it's certainly a case of last but most certainly not least. Charmaine, especially from Chelsea. In Chelsea's words, you understood what Chelsea wanted more than she did a lot of the time. And you've been there from the very beginning, helping out with the wedding. And I have a sneaky suspicion that even before I proposed, you were still also helping her out with the wedding. So, you really have been there from the onset, and also up to the very final hours as well. Literally yesterday, I think you were the last one out of the marquee, squaring away all the chair ties and all the little bits and pieces and helping out. As just generally being a calming influence for Chelsea. And you've raised a wonderful daughter, so thank you so much. 2 wonderful daughters.
Well,
a huge big thank you from me and Chelsea. Please accept a bouquet of flowers. That's a very small gesture. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention as well. First in, last out, Royal Engineers. Sorry, just had to throw it in there. Okay. Right. Bridesmaids, where are you? Bridesmaids, Sophie? Where's Nicole? Hayley? Samantha? Hello. Stand up. Go on.
stand up, Sam.
Stand up.
Stand up, Haley. Stand up.
You guys look absolutely stunning today. Round of applause for bridesmaids. From Chelsea, a particularly warm thank you to you, Nicole, as well. Not very. Nicole, you have been a very important part of Chelsea's life since the very beginning, really. You have helped insurmountably with the wedding, I've seen it, and also with the hen do as well, which I heard was particularly good. So thank you very much, Nicole. Please accept that gift. The small token. Hey, Hayley, as well, where are you? Yeah. Awesome, sis. Love you.
You're welcome.
Come on up. Got a gift for you. You've been an absolutely amazing sister to me. You've been a great influence, and I know how much you're hating this. Just gonna milk it. I love you. Sophie, please come on up. Please accept this. Sophie, you've been a great sister to Chelsea, most of the time, I think. So it's reported to me. And you've been a great influence, and a calming influence for me. And every time I've got awkward questions about ring sizes, you've helped out. No matter how inaccurately, but you've helped out. So thank you. You've been great. Thank you. I'd also like to thank someone who can't be here at the moment. Sorry. Oh, Samantha. Come on up here, you. Come on, you. Samantha, you look top notch this morning, and today in DG2 you're a wonderful, wonderful flower girl. Thank you ever so much. You are beautiful. Okay, I'd also like to thank someone who can't be here today, which is the Reverend Barry Burbage. I think he did a great job today. He's a really nice chap as well, and me and Chelsea enjoyed his company. He also taught me a very valuable lesson actually, and I mean this quite seriously as well. Did anyone else realise that you can have 16 wives? No? 4 better, 4 worse. 4 worse. Chelsea, don't worry, you are definitely 4 better. Hey, guard of honour, thank you fellas. Okay, best man, where are you? MD, you mate, you have been a comrade in arms, a very good friend, through thick and thin. We spend so much time in the desert, which is a bizarre place to be. And I remember one time you reminded me, when we were in Afghanistan, do you realise that you've spent more time sleeping next to me this year than Chelsea? So in some ways I suppose I should have felt quite close to you. Not that close. But you have, you've been a really terrific friend. Genuinely, you really have. And although weird, bizarre and wonderful as you are, when you detect a slight piece of anxiety over me, especially after the last couple of days, you've really honed in on that and you know how to switch and do exactly what it takes to make me feel at ease. So a huge thank you for that. You have been very brilliant throughout the whole process, so thank you. Okay. Finally, but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my ushers. Ben, top bloke. Really top bloke. Ever since I first asked you and Lucy to be my friends in the first term of university. Will you be my friend? You did, so thank you for that. You've both been terrific friends through thick and thin. You really have. You know the dramas that I've had in the past, and you were there every step of the way with me. It's really good for mates. So thanks very much. For being there, buddy, and coming all the way from Hong Kong is absolutely terrific, so thank you for being here. Of course, that leaves Kieran. Appropriately, the closest individual to the bar. Very true to his nature from the north and all. Mate, you in a very similar way have been through thick, you've been stood by me through thick and thin, and you know all the times I'm talking about as well, and especially over the last 3 or 4 years especially, you've been a great friend, more than a cousin, as close as a brother at times, so a huge warm thank you to you. You really do deserve a special mention, so thank you very much. I'm done with thank yous now. I think I'm all thank you'd out. I do apologise if I have missed anyone out, okay? But, every single one of you, thank you for everything and being a special part of Chelsea and my life as well. All wonderful. Okay, so, Chelsea. Aww. My wife. Mrs. Peters. I must say, I think you'd all agree that Chelsea looks absolutely stunning today. And I don't applause. I must say that announcing my love to you in front of such a large number of people is not only quite a unique experience, but also a very rare opportunity. So I do want to make sure I get it right. We've been together for only just over 3 years now, and we've experienced so much in that time. We've been through good times, we've been through bad times. Been from Maidstone to London, from Grantham to the hills of Slovenia, to the romantic canals of Venice, topsy-turvy, upside down in love in Australia. We've been everywhere, and we've been through so much together, and bizarrely, we've been through so much apart. Quite a large portion of our relationship has involved time apart, but in my opinion, I think you feel the same, that we only grow closer together as time has gone through. And I know that I differ over decisions sometimes, and you've seen that in the past, but deciding to marry you was one of the easiest decisions that I've ever made. And in actual fact, I know I'm starting to sound really soppy now, but it's true. It wasn't even a decision, it just happened, because it just felt so right. I love you to the end of the earth, Chelsea, so thank you for being such a wonderful bride. Finish yet. So Chelsea, I first met you on a night out in Maidstone. I think, if my memory serves me right, I think it was a James Bond themed garden party. It was a black tie event. I was on a special assignment filling in for an unspecified MI5 agent. I was just on leave actually for my SAS duties in an undisclosed location. I spotted her from across the room in a long velvet dress, fighting off handsome chaps with dazzling good looks and expensive jewellery. I noticed that she tripped slightly and I swooped over her. I said, "Chaps," well, I didn't know your name. I said, "Sweetheart, are you okay?" And he looked lovingly into my eyes and said, "Yes." And for the rest of the evening, we spent all our time together swapping amusing stories, sweet anecdotes and whispering sweet nothings into each other's ears. And then, once we fell in love, we rode off into the night on my noble steed called Toby.
Oh dear.
I had to mention Toby in the speech. Anyway, that's how I remember it.
Where is Toby?
Toby couldn't make it, I'm sorry. That's how I remember it in my head. I don't know if you'll get the truth later, but that's how I remember it anyway. So what about the rest of our lives together? Before I'd like to talk about that, I'd like to draw everyone's attention to the bunting. So have a look at the bunting. Okay, does everyone like the bunting? Yes. I like the bunting. I'd like everyone to appreciate it, and Chelsea's giving me strange looks now, so where is he going with this? We spent hours over this bunting, well mainly Chelsea.
Chelsea did.
She did, it was. But I love the bunting for a few reasons. The first of all is because I think it's brilliant as a metaphor for describing a couple of things. First of all, why I love Chelsea so much. Because Chelsea she's got the drive, dedication, commitment, and just the sheer willingness and vision to just sit down and create everything that you can see around you today. I mean, I like to think that I helped out with this wedding, but I think I did a little bit. But Chelsea, it's everything you see around you is all created by Chelsea, and she's done all of this whilst maintaining an exceptional career, excelling at work, and now a 2-hour commute backwards and forwards. And so to do all of that and still maintain this exterior of elegance and decorum and wonderfulness, and it's just incredible what you can do. And you do impress me. I know I don't show it all the time, but you do, baby, and I do love you for that. So I love you, Chelsea. The second reason I love the bunting, especially as a metaphor, I think for me it's kind of the way that marriage should be and the way I see it in the future. First of all, you've got the fabric, which essentially resembles the memories and days together you have in your lives. You know, they should be varied, they should be colourful, they should be beautiful, and everything, and they should you know, be carefully constructed one day at a time. You've then got the binding, which represents time. So as you go out throughout your life, you're creating memories, you're creating these wonderful days of your lives. And the key ingredient is love, which is the stitching. And it stitches all those days and memories together for a big, long piece of bunting. Well, actually, it requires all this joint cooperation, joint vision, and determination together. And actually, if you step back, even though you spent so long looking at each and every triangle in minute detail, you step back, look with a wide-angle lens at everything you've created throughout your lives, all the memories and all the love that you've had together. It's actually an incredibly beautiful thing. So that's how I see our marriage unfolding, Chelsea. So let's get that sewing machine out and make more bunting. Okay, so I think I'll finish it there. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you all ever so much for coming. Okay, before you enjoy the rest of the evening, okay, there's one speech left, and I'll hand you over to my esteemed friends, Andy.
Good evening, everyone. Now, Daniel, you promised me you're going to deliver a rubbish speech and make me look good, but that was actually a pretty good speech, given the events over the last couple of days. I want my money back. So many toasts, thank yous. Hopefully you're leathered, and I'm all out of material, so that's really good. In terms of marriage advice, you've been married for 4 hours, so well done, that's pretty good. So I'm afraid I'm not much of a public speaker. But as you've all just witnessed Daniel Peters getting married, I imagine you're all quite a liberal, open-minded bunch of people. I was actually in hospital pretty recently, we won't go into why, but I took the opportunity to sort of practice my speech in front of a live audience. So I've prepared this ages ago. And it seemed to go down pretty well. They were pissing themselves in the urology ward. Those I haven't had the chance to meet yet, I've got my name already. I'm David, or MD, I'm Dan's best man, clearly. I've worked, and I use that in the loosest sense, alongside Daniel for the last 5 years in the army. One would be forgiven that 5 years isn't really a lot of time compared to some of the experience, a lot of time you spent with Dan over your lifetimes. But it's not really the amount of stories. I had plenty of stories. The problem is finding something that wasn't incriminating. It's out of context, of course. But firstly, I'd like to say how lovely the bridesmaids look. Nicole, Sophie, Hayley and Sam, excellent job today. Only to be appropriately outshone by the bridesmaid herself. Charles, you look 1 in a million. Daniel Moore, 1 in a lottery. Together with a little outside help from friends and family, you've worked so hard to put together such a good day. It's been absolutely outstanding. You planned the weather, everything. It couldn't be any better. And we can all celebrate Daniel being slightly less of a chaotic influence in the officer's mess. So how Chelsea and Daniel met, we've already been over this a little bit, but it's one of my favourite Dan anecdotes, or Danecdotes. Whilst we were very, very junior officers, we'd literally just left training. In fact, we were still in training. Daniel decided to lead a group of the lads out in Maidstone. I believe you went to Strawberry Moons, quite a classy establishment there. All the other lads being quite appropriately dressed, you got in without any problem. Daniel, on the other hand, was turned away on the grounds of the classic bouncer euphemism. Sorry, mate, I think they're the wrong colour shoes. So he was sent away. He was left all by himself. He got completely jacked on by the lads, and he was just left wandering the streets. So it took a moment to sort of consider a plan, really, and he did pretty well. Remembering he was wearing thick black army wool socks underneath the offending footwear, he decided to take those off and put them over the top of his shoes. This is something I can only imagine Daniel Peters doing. It's classic ingenuity, and I think that's why you're so well suited to engineers. That's incredible. But somehow this worked, and he got into the club. So a few refreshments later, he was quite heavily refreshed at this point. He went on and bumped into Chelsea and a group of her friends, and they had a bit of a chat and sort of introduced themselves. They all got to know each other reasonably well, and then moved on. And that should really be where the story ends. Thankfully, it's not. They went to a place called the Roadhouse, which is, I believe. I believe some of you may have been there, perhaps. So Daniel comes bounding up to Chelsea and a group of her friends and say, "Hi, how's it going, Chelsea?" And Chelsea's like, "Hi." Not really remembering who this guy is, but quite disturbed that he knows. I believe you were loitering outside the toilets at this point. Loitering for quite some time, so plenty of time to chat and get to know each other. I can't remember why they're loitering outside the toilets, but I'm sure Nicole Foreman can give you the details. But anyway, Nicole sloped off and left them to it, and they got chatting, got to know each other. And out of that, clearly an amazing romance has blossomed, and well done. That's incredible. I believe it's a tradition to talk about this sort of stag do. Don't worry, lads, what happens in Cardiff stays in Cardiff for those who have been there. At least in this forum. He knows. Needless to say, there were the necessary strippers and gambling, and it culminated with a stag with a cracked rib. Is that better now? And Tom Boiling hanging from the top of a pole. It was brilliant. So for the army guys that couldn't make it that day, but here today, when you're on exercise in Brecon and getting cold and wet and it's rubbish, and someone says to you, civilians pay a lot of money for the privilege of this. It's not just civilians, I'm ashamed to admit. That's exactly what we did when we went canyoning. But I have to say it's much better when it's under your own steam and you paid for it. I don't know how that works. So I have a variety of stories about Daniel, but few suitable for this sort of environment, because most of them would seem like utter nonsense, because that's something that Daniel does so well, isn't it? Nudger. We've been through some really, really bizarre scenarios, but anyway, that's a small insight. So we didn't know each other all that well at Sandhurst. I knew him by his nickname, which I won't say because there's children present. It's a great nickname, you can ask him about it in a minute. And we sort of got to know each other in the Troop Commanders course. We both found out we're being posted to the same regiment over in Germany. It's quite a niche sort of environment out there, a little cluster of British Army people. And so we're like, right, okay, we better get really good friends really fast, otherwise this isn't going to work. A discussion, do you remember that? Smoking out the window, being very naughty. Anyway. And we got to know each other particularly well during the 9 months in Afghanistan we spent together. 9 months is a long time for day in, day out, spending time with the same person. It's incredible, so I look forward to that, Chelsea. And, in that time, you really get to know each other really well. And I think one of Daniel's most notable characteristics is the more you get to know him, the more you come to love him. Yeah. I thought he was a bit of a prat when I first met him. But now, as you say, as brothers in arms, we went to war together for 9 months. That's a big deal. So not only is he absolutely hilarious in the same way that a naughty Labrador is, but he's also so kind, so sincere. If you want an honest opinion, you can ask Dan and he'll give it to you straight. There's no messing about with Dan. And he's never afraid to leap headlong into the sort of metaphorical murky waters. He's straight in there like a bull into a china shop, regardless of the situation. I imagine that's sort of how it worked for Chelsea when they first met. But he also has this magical ability, and this is the thing that really stands out for me, of making any situation, no matter how hard it gets, seem positive somehow. You know, it has this amazing ability for foresight and retrospect, which I've not encountered anywhere else. So, Daniel and Chelsea, it's clear you're so well suited to each other, and I can see an amazing future ahead of yourselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and join me in raising one final toast to the happy new couple. Daniel and Chelsea.
Daniel and Chelsea!
Okay, you can sit down there. A couple of sort of admin points. The bar is already paid for, which is amazing, so absolutely make the most of that. While still doing that, we'll find a little window to get your attention, and Daniel and Chelsea are going to cut the cake in the next few minutes. In the meantime, chat amongst yourselves, get jolly and really enjoy yourselves.